Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is October 22nd, 2024, and this is episode 300, everybody. That's right, 300 episodes of the Paul Green Comedy Podcast. Stand up comedian, actor, improviser, and dreamer Paul Green, sharing my journey 300 times. I'm going to say 300 a lot in this episode. Man, how do I even begin to unpack this episode? What I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, my feelings, my inner thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I sat on this journey just under a year ago, and as a personal challenge to myself, and yeah, it's really something else just being able to look back and go, wow, I have done this. I did it. I'm doing it, and I'm not even done yet. Um, if this is your first time joining me, about a year ago, November, or I think it was November 30th, I just set this goal to share a podcast daily, just sharing my journey, sharing my thoughts and feelings and experiences. Not only my own journey, but then also more just my general feeling on what it's like to go for a dream and to pursue it, and um, just sharing all of the experiences and thoughts and ups and downs that I've experienced and that I am experiencing, and to have hit this milestone is really, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel. Yeah, I don't even really know where to begin. It's it's been a fascinating experience to challenge all of the um, challenge myself, all of the negative voices, all of the reasons why doing this doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because it kind of doesn't. Um, Overcoming the ego of being this transparent with what I'm going through, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, as transparent as I am being. I mean, I still keep a card or two to my chest, but in this podcast, I turn over a lot of them. I turn over a lot of cards, and intentionally. Um, and I can't tell you how many times that I've just thought to myself, why the heck am I doing this? This is so dumb. Nobody really cares. you know, I don't have anything valuable to say. I'm just blabbing on. A lot of times I'm just blabbing on about my day. And because I'm doing this every single day, it's like most days are boring. Um, I've used this analogy before. I call it the Rocky analogy, whereas, where in the Rocky movie, you know, the most significant part of the movie is actually so boring in terms of storytelling that they just sum all that up in a 3 minute montage. But what the 3 minute montage represents in the Rocky movie is about 6 months of just grueling day in and day out hard work. It's Rocky waking up every morning at 5 in the morning, running for 4 miles, and then, drinking eggs, raw eggs for protein, and then going and punching a big slab of cow meat in a freezer, and jumping rope and sparring and going to the gym and waking up and doing that every single day, when probably every single day there were, or not every single day, but there were probably plenty of mornings when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and Rocky thinks to himself, I'd rather not get out of bed today. I'd rather sleep in. And so yeah, that's also been just something that I've had to push through of going, I'm doing this every single day. Most days are kind of boring. And so there's this negative self-talk of, well, you don't have anything valuable to say today, so why are you even going to do a podcast today? Um, so I've had to overcome that. I've had to detach from outcomes because, in terms of objective measurable outcomes, there really isn't. It's not like this podcast is taken off. It's not like I have millions of subscribers or even thousands of subscribers. Um, when I look at like the statistics of how many people even watch it on YouTube, on any given episode, it's somewhere between 60 and 100, um, which in YouTube terms probably means that most of those people probably just stopped on for a few seconds and then bounced off. Now, I know I have a couple of loyal fans. My mom, my girlfriend, my buddy Jim has let me know that he listens to it. So there's three that I know of that watch all episodes, beginning to end. But most people probably don't. It's not like I'm getting sponsorship deals. Not like I'm getting ad money. I'm getting no money actually. Um, so it's also a challenge of just doing something that I believe in doing for no other reason than it's a challenge for me personally. And being willing to overlook so many um, contradictory elements, contradictory in terms of um, evidence that this podcast isn't gonna blow up or make me famous or something like that. Like I have to detach from those types of outcomes to continue to do it on a daily basis and to have come this far. And I have to make that decision on a daily basis because I'm challenging myself to do it daily. And that's one of the reasons why I do it daily is because on a daily basis, I want to challenge myself to overcome my attachment to outcomes, overcome my ego, overcome my negative self talk, overcome, you know, uh, assuming that nobody wants to listen to it, overcome. I mean, I have to overcome so much just to put a little 20, 30 minute little blurb of just what I'm thinking and feeling and experiencing on a daily basis. And um, that alone has had many um, tangential benefits and great things are happening in my life, maybe not necessarily as a direct result of what I'm saying on this podcast on a daily basis, but definitely as a result of me putting myself in a mindset of constantly challenging myself, overcoming the self. So it's like I have to overcome myself to do the podcast. And now I'm in the habit of overcoming myself on a daily basis, which means now I can overcome myself in other ways because I'm training myself to do it um, on the daily. Um, and there have been some very real benefits to the fact that I did this podcast. It strengthened my relationship with Josh Novi, which led to this two-person show that he and I are doing. It strengthened my relationship with Jim, who owns JP's Comedy Club, and um, because of that relationship, I now have these incredible opportunities to perform at his club and to produce shows at his club, which is very rare and very unique. And you know, it's even though there may not be results, like staggering results in terms of numbers, in terms of immediate financial windfalls. I'm not Joe Rogan over here. Uh, you know, where Spotify's paying me $100 million to do my podcast. Who knows? Maybe that's in the future someday. But for now, for me, the um, the practice of discipline and the practice of overcoming ego, overcoming self, challenging my perceptions of myself, challenging my paradigm, um, being vulnerable, being transparent, ignoring lots of voices, that say like, "Hey, don't ever let people know what you're up to. Don't let people know what you're thinking or feeling, because then people can take advantage of it." Which there's probably some truth to that. But I am going, no, this is exactly what I think. This is exactly what I feel. This is exactly what I'm up to, and people could use that against me. And there is really something empowering to go, yeah, so what? Oh, you know what I think and you know what I feel, and I'm being, fairly transparent and honest. I mean, again, it's not like I share every single thought and feeling and experience I have, but again, I do share a lot. And it reminds me of this. Here's a bit of a metaphor for you. Um, I'm a huge football fan, and so much of football is two teams trying to outsmart each other. It's like the offense is trying to trick the defense, by not telegraphing what type of play they're doing. They fake a run, but they're going to throw, or they act like they're going to throw, and then they hand off. They act like they're going to throw downfield, and then they throw a screen pass. So they act like they're going to throw a screen pass, and then they throw a bomb, or they there's just so much trickery going on. But every once in a while, there will come a time where the offense is like not concealing what they're going to do at all. And it just really comes down to, yeah, we're going to run the ball here, and come and stop us. It's like, we ain't tricking anybody. We're just going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, but we're going to win. We're going to gain yards on you. We're going to overpower you. We're going to just out strength you. And I always love hearing that. You hear that sometimes in the game interview, where they're just like, "Yeah, well, we knew we were running it. They knew we were running it. They knew we knew they were running it. We knew they knew we knew that they knew that." And it's just like, hey, there's no trickery here. We're gonna run the ball down your throat. Try and stop us. And I feel a little bit of that energy too. Just like, yeah, I'm telling you exactly what I'm up to. I tell you that I'm going for dreams. I tell you that I'm trying to produce a show, and I'm trying to get credits, and I'm trying to get a big break, and I'm trying to develop stand-up comedy material to be more and more funny, and I'm trying to get in festivals and win festivals, and I'm, you know, like, yeah, that's what I'm up to. Try and stop me if you want. Um, Not that necessarily people are trying to stop me, but I don't know. I just that's my thought in response to that sort of rhetoric out there. Yeah, just don't let people know what you're up to. Just keep your head down, work really hard, and then surprise them one day. Fair enough. Maybe, but I've just stepped in this energy of like, no, I'm running the football. I'm going to line up in a running formation. I'm running it. I'll give you the play. Like, here's my play, but I'm still going to go run it better and still be successful. And I'm going to do it my way. So, we are 300 episodes in. It has been, yeah, it's just been crazy. Just how crazy is that I got 300 of these floating out in the internet. Anybody could go back and listen to it anytime and hear what I'm thinking and feeling on any given day for the last year, minus 26 days that I missed. But I am back on track for daily. I have not missed a day in about 12 days or so. And my goal is to get to 365. And again, once I get to 365, then I will, I'll make some decisions then. But with that, let's turn our focus to The Magic Mindset, the book that I have been listening to, which has also been really great, very inspirational, very influential. And today's chapter is The Magic Mindset when it comes to social media. How ironic is that? That on the day that I'm posting my 300th episode on social media, this chapter is all about like, yeah, we should really be careful with social media. And as is the case with a couple of other chapters here, there really isn't anything like earth shattering about this chapter. It's pretty much just good advice, the same advice that you would probably hear just about from anybody regarding social media. That it can lead to depression, it can lead to discouragement because there's so much comparison. If you are always watching all of this other stuff on social media and you see everybody else doing all these amazing things, although we know that everything that's put on social media is pretty carefully curated, except for the Paul Green Comedy Podcast. There's almost no curation, man. I talk into this camera. I don't cut anything out. I just film it and I stick it online. Um, but even me, I hid 4 episodes. I took 4 episodes down because I had a really dark period uh, back in about February, March, and had a really discouraging experience. And for like 3 or 4 episodes, I kept talking about that. And I was in a dark place. So I was pretty negative and bitter. And more so, I was actually really harshly criticizing um, some other people, which that starts to get a little bit beyond what I'm about. And a good friend of mine said, I listened to those episodes and I'm just telling you as a friend, those probably aren't episodes that you want out there. So there you go. Even me, who's Mr. Be Transparent and, just share and put yourself out there and be vulnerable, even I have curated the Paul Green Comedy Podcast to, um, to make it a little more positive, or to not make me seem as critical, or to, remove a couple episodes where I wasn't maybe in my best self and where I was experiencing something incredibly heartbreaking and very discouraging. And, that was some energy that I didn't want to put online. And who knows? Maybe there was somebody out there who would have heard that and go, "Oh, well, Paul gets discouraged too, so maybe it's okay that I'm discouraged." I don't know. So we all know that online content is fairly significantly curated, and people can edit and cut and paste and do take after take after take to try to get whatever it is they're posting online to look and feel a certain way. And it can be very discouraging and even depressing to consume that all day. And I am definitely not immune to that. And then of course there's the other hand of that, where social media has given every human being a platform to perform and to put themselves out there and to potentially gain notoriety and to carve a path where there was maybe no path available to them before. The number of comics and actors and um, musicians who maybe couldn't get a leg up in sort of the traditional entertainment industry, found out ways to use social media And then guess what? They didn't have to wait for anybody to greenlight them. They didn't have to, move out to Hollywood and be the hottest next young thing or whatever to, to get a big break and to get cast in the big thing. They could just create their own content, put it online, and grow their own following. And again, I know many comedians who have done that. Um, so I think with so many things in life, with so many resources, with so many tools, learning to use the tool in a manner that serves us and serves others, and of trying to avoid allowing these tools to harm us or to discourage us is always going to be the key. I mean, I even made a conscious choice a couple years ago where I'm like, I am never going to post anything in terms of political opinion online, anything like that that would actually spark controversy or whatever. I mean, because I used to throw some comments out there and just get in these long, brutal arguments, and it's just so pointless. So, that was something to where I just said, I'm going to use social media as a chance to um, express my art, express my thoughts, express my opinion, express my comedy, to potentially gain some eyeballs, to hopefully entertain people online who, wouldn't be able to come see me live. And who knows, maybe will come see me live someday. But that's really all I have to say about social media. I don't think I have any sort of unique take. I feel like, social media has been around long enough, and there's been enough studies and reports and uh, you know uh, research and documentaries and all of that to let us know that, like anything, it can have a negative impact in our life if we allow it to, but it can also have a tremendously positive impact depending on how we use it. And let's try to find positive uses for ye old social media. That's what I'm trying to do with the Paul Green Comedy Podcast here on the 300th episode. I keep wanting to say third hundredth. On the third hundredth episode. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this 300th episode. I got 65 more to go uh, daily to finish out this particular goal of mine. And as I've been saying all along, once I get to 365, I have some decisions to make. So I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But for now, I love you all so much. Thank you all for listening. I hope your dreams are coming true. If you're in your Rocky montage moment and you're in that, I just have to wake up every day at 5 a.m. and go jog 5 miles. And it's going to be grueling and hard in the meantime, but there's going to be a benefit um, at the end of all this. You have my support, you have my love. And yeah, I hope whatever it is that you are seeking to enhance your life comes your way. All right, everybody, that's all for today. I love you all so much. This is the Paul Green Comedy Podcast, episode 300, October 22nd, 2024. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.